how about we give ourselves a quick intro and then we can just go into it and have our conversation about the benefits of locking up coins. We could use Gary Coin as an example since that's the one that I have the video on. The fact is that you could do it on a whole bunch of different platforms, so I think that's cool. It's a concept that I think people should understand, but hey, we got it going on at Gary Club. If you don't know me, my name is Dunk. I've been a creator for my entire life, but before people were even calling it creator, I come from the film and television industry, and I am now creating content with video and monetizing in both Web 2 and Web 3. And I just love learning about different strategies on how to monetize and how to help you monetize and make money, because everything that I learn is just one step ahead of what you could be doing as well. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was locking up cryptocurrencies in order to get actually a reward of some kind. And the one we're using as example today is Gary Club, and you're able to lock up Gary and claim different drops, and in turn actually increasing your position. And if you have faith in a project, it's a great way to actually get a return on the project without actually being constantly active in it. We have CG777 with us today. So CG, if you want to give yourself a quick intro.
Yeah, so CG777 or Mike. I've been in crypto since around 2012. Started with Bitcoin mining and then went down the rabbit hole. Found NFTs it was either late 2017 or early 2018. And just led from one thing to another. I got bigger in 2020, 2021 into the art scene and just stepped up my art collecting and started some spaces focusing on art. And with that, and speaking with various artists, and many of which in this space that are relying on sales to make a living, I heard the hardships and stuff that they go through. You know, being someone had like a bigger account and started with X monetization, I started looking for other ways to monetize my account or just work on some other passive income streams, which kind of led me to Gary Club and then connecting with Dunk here just to give some of my experiences as well as learn myself on some of these different ways to generate income that are available online, Web 3 and Web 2. So what brought me here.
Yeah, and there's so many cool ways to earn in Web 3, and that's what attracted me. And I do agree there are different people in the ecosystem. You were just saying that you started in one place and you moved into art eventually. You started in one way and then you moved into art, and there's so many different places that people could fit into the mold. One thing about locking up coins, and what we're talking about today, is like locking up your coins and being able to claim a drop when you lock them up. That's a way that, say somebody isn't really into the art scene. You hear people say, oh, I'm a degen, I do blah, 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 whatever label you want to assign to somebody, whatever it is. You may not fall into that. Maybe you say, I'm an investor, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm somebody that just wants to do that kind of thing. You could be that, and you could be that more passive person, and it actually helps the entire ecosystem by you doing that. And why does it help the entire ecosystem? Because it actually lowers the circulating supply. So with Gary, for example, there's just shy of 100 million Gary that exist in the universe total. It's locked. They can never make more. It's actually just a little under 100 because sometimes some get burned. Right now, with Gary, there's 2.5% of the entire supply is locked up for the next 6 months, meaning that nobody could sell 2.5%. And I have to look at the exact amount, but it's not even 10% of the supply that's out in the world yet. That means that actually it's more like 25, or not 25, was my math? Yeah, 25% of the actual circulating supply, I'll double check the exact number, but it is actually locked up. So that means that 25% of the coin that's out there can't be sold for the next 6 months. And what does that mean? That means that, say there's a big pump, they can't hit sell. Say there's anything like that, there you can't hit sell. So if somebody wants to come in and buy a coin when a whole bunch of it is locked up, it is actually a good thing. They come in and they feel secure. They feel like they could trust this project more because people have said, I believe in the next 6 months, it's going to just get better. Because if I didn't believe that it was going to be better in 6 months from now, then I wouldn't hit that button to lock it up for 6 months, because otherwise I would think that I'm missing an opportunity, which I feel like the opportunities are even beyond the 6 months because I have long-term faith in the coin. So that as a reward, projects give things like drops. And in Gary, for instance, they do random drops. There's 250,000 Gary that they slotted for, I believe it was for the first 6 months. And that 6 months, throughout that time, they're going to give that away to whoever locks it up as a reward and a thank you. So you actually get more coin. Since you're bullish, you could take that coin, lock it up the same way as you did like the last one. You could sell it, you could spend it, you could swap it into whatever other coin you choose, or you could just hold it. Whatever you choose to do, it is your coin at that point. And you still have your other coin locked up, and you are helping the entire ecosystem. So that's basically how locking up coins basically works, and the benefit that you get from the ecosystem, and why somebody that has no interest in actually being in they don't need to be in community, they don't need to do any of those things to actually do that. They could be that behind the scenes investor if they really wanted to. I'll pass the mic back to you.
Yeah, I think this is something that I've done since the beginning of my crypto journey. Like I'm a big staker, and I've played the markets, right? Like I bought and sold. My accountant was just ready to kill me. I think I made like 90,000 transactions last year. So I make a lot of transactions as far as like buying and selling. But honestly, some of my best games has just been buying the coins and staking them and earning as low as, or not as low, but anywhere from 5 to, gosh, when I first started, we were getting like 12% on like USDC, and even ETH at one point I was getting like 9 or 11%. And I know it's not exactly the same, but it's similar, right? Because a lot of the staking as far as the crypto coins, you're locked up for, or at least the way that I had done them was either like a 3-month lock period or 1 month, or like a variable, and the interest would vary according to the lockup period. And then we saw it also with Bonk too, right? Like you can lock up Bonk, which I know is similar kind of platform to the way that Gary had set up with Gary Club. So it was when he announced it, I was sold, because I'm normally more that long-term investor, especially if projects like Gary Club and things that I believe in. It was great for me. I love that kind of stuff. So when he had first teased it or mentioned it, I was all about it.
It actually is the same exact tech. Gary used the same tech as Bonk used. And personally, I'm really liking it. Granted, hey, there are some occasional slowdowns in the blockchain right now. It's gotten better over the last couple of days, I feel. I was able to claim all of my claims all in one sitting, which was great. If anybody was wondering, hey, how do I claim this? I do have a video that I have pinned to this. It's also on YouTube at youtube.com/@theblockchain. So if you want to find it on YouTube, if you prefer that over videos on X, then you could find all the videos as well as a whole bunch of other tutorials there. The tech is exactly the same. To me, I always find that, for instance, people are bullish on Bonk. Since we're talking about Bonk, that's the reason why people can get behind locking stuff up. If you locked up a coin worth $1, for instance, and then you didn't have faith in it, and then 6 months later it's worth a penny, that's not a very good bet. That no matter what interest or drops you're getting, that's not the best idea. You'd be better off selling it. But if you have an ecosystem, and that's part of the reason why I leaned into doing stuff at Gary, because it's not just some random person that set up a coin and said, stake this, I'll give you a reward. It's an entire ecosystem of people that are building on this coin. So when there's something that has use cases, when there's something that has ways that you can utilize it outside of the ecosystem, example of that is we have 2 coins. Myself, I have Dunk, and then Gino, who has Drive. We both have coins that are outside of the ecosystem, and that gives another entry and exit point for the entire ecosystem. So that's one more use case. Using social pay, which we talked about in our last space, that's another use case. So there's all these different use cases, and whenever I'm looking at any kind of project, no matter what it is, I want to see, is it just some random coin that people pumped money into, or is it something that has utility, things like that? And if it has utility, it's like any other business that I say, hey, I'm not going to sell this. Again, I'm not giving any financial advice, and I'm not talking about stocks, but stock, if I'm not going to sell a company's stock in 6 months, I'm not worried about it. I'm just like, I'm not sitting there looking at it, waiting. I would love to have those amazing dividends that come, and that's the kind of the way that I look at it in my head. That's the way I rationalize it when I'm talking to myself in my head. I say, this is a stock for a company, and again, not a stock. I'm not going to sell that stock for at least 6 months, no matter what ups and downs. You could lock it up, and then you would lose any benefit of any kind of announcement of pump, and it works the same exact way in Web3 and crypto with a token that you've staked or you've locked up, because there's always opportunities. But to me, a company, if you keep on selling it, you're going to hurt the opportunity that could actually affect it. And by locking up, at this point, I believe it's like 25% of Gary, then 25% can't be sold. So as more coin gets added into the ecosystem over time, people lock it up, and then over time they'll just release it. I'm going on a ramble, so I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think that was a good explanation. Ben, sometimes like it might sound like simple, but a lot of people still often when we talk to these spaces, you'd be surprised how many people, what may seem easy for some, like people just aren't even aware of. So I don't think you can ever go too in depth. I think it just helps clarify anything.
How about this? What is it actually doing when you stake or lock up your coin in Gary? Or it's the same exact thing as Bonk. So if you have Bonk, you could just listen to what I'm saying. It would just apply there too. But what it does is it creates a secondary coin. And you could take that coin and it will lock up that Bonk, or that Gary, sorry. It will lock up that Gary, and then it will create another token. And the token technically is worth nothing. It's a claim token. So it would mean that I would need to go back, use that same wallet, put that coin in that wallet. And if it's a custodial wallet and you have Gary coin, you can go to joingaryclub.com and create a Gary Club account if you want. But if you have that wallet, and it will put something called locked Gary in. And what is locked Gary? It's really nothing. It's just a coin that says, when I come back, you give me the locked Gary back and I'll give you the Gary back, but then you won't get any of the benefits of locking up your Gary. Now, you could do a whole bunch of things with that coin. If it's not in the custodial wallet, you could actually even go and create a liquidity pool with it if you really wanted to and make it into a fully traded coin. But at that point, there's no liquidity behind it, and all what people would use it for is to claim their coin. And if you see it in your wallet, you could just ignore it. Don't lose it, but you could ignore it. If you go into Gary and if you decide to lock it up for 6 months, what they do is they give you a 3x multiplier for 6 months, which means that if I lock up, say, 100 Gary for 6 months, it will give me 300 locked Gary. And what that means is I get 3 times the share of those drops because I'm bullish and I say I'm going to lock it up for 6 months. If I did it for 3 months, it's just 1.8%, I believe it is, 1.8. So it's a little bit, it's almost 2x. And if you do it for the 1 month, you just get one locked Gary for 1 Gary, and that's what you get. So if you are bullish on it, you can get more locked Gary. And then, like I was saying, there's a bunch of other things that could potentially happen with that locked Gary down the road. But at the moment, there's nothing. There's no external liquidity pools. But I'm just saying it could happen if somebody had a bunch of locked Gary and they decided to go and open up their own pool. It could be the birth of an entire second layer cryptocurrency that people would only be able to get that coin either by buying it or swapping it. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And honestly, that was something like until I think it was the Bonk one was the first time I actually realized it. And then when Gary explained it as well. But I'd been doing that before and not even realizing, I think actually, I take it back. I think it was Jupiter when people were making money off of the pre-Jupe one when he was doing when I was doing his test one. I think it was the first time I noticed that you actually get another coin that you could, like you said, do stuff with. I thought it was just more like a marker, right? Just what it's intended for to reclaim. But I didn't I never really thought that, hey, it's just like any other coin, right? You can go and create a liquidity pool and all that kind of stuff, which is probably more information than most people need, but it's also good information to know. Whether you do anything with that or not, it's just the knowledge is power. It was just something that I wasn't even aware of until I guess a couple months back.
Yeah, it's funny how many layers there are in Web3. You don't realize that everything's connected. Fuzzy is a great example of somebody that is very knowledgeable about this, but he was showing you could go and if you're providing liquidity for liquidity pools, you were able to go and provide liquidity one place, and then it gives you another token, and then you can go to another platform and then stake that. And now you're in multiple platforms and multiple protocols, and you're getting benefit from all of them, but you really only just needed to initially do it in one place. So it's really cool, that trickle-down effect of being able to lock it up. But think about it this way. There's layers of locking up if you think about it that way, because hey, somebody could create up a lockup protocol for locked Gary if they wanted to. And it would be no different, but they would need to have the coin when you go claim it. If you're in a non-concentrated liquidity pool at Radium, for instance, they give you LP tokens. Those LP tokens, if you would like to get access to the secondary rewards, you could stake them and claim those rewards. That's a secondary thing. You get to stake the coin it gave you. And if you found something better than the rewards that you could use those LP tokens for wherever or whatever, then you could potentially sell them. But you would always need those LP tokens back before you could ever claim your position out of that liquidity pool. the things that I was really focusing on was like, you could earn crypto by locking up coins, and you could benefit the projects that you believe in. And I think that's what is the thing that stands out to me. I wouldn't just find some random project that has no utility, nothing, and then just go buy a bunch of, I'm going to buy these coins, because the liquidity has to come from somewhere. If you sell Gary, there is liquidity there. And if it ever goes to zero, there's no liquidity anymore, because crypto is basically a bunch of pools. And if those pools get dried up, a coin it doesn't matter what number is assigned to a coin. If the pool is empty, the crypto is worth nothing. So it's only worth what somebody is willing to pay for it. So if all those pools drain, we have nothing left in the pools. So find something that you actually believe in, has utility. That's the reason why I'm talking about Gary, and that's the reason why we were mentioning Bonk. There's a lot of people that believe in Bonk, and that's the reason it worked. And there's a lot of people that believe in Gary, myself included, because I'm building my entire ecosystem on the platform as well, because people look at it like, oh, it's a Web3 marketing platform, but there's people that are just as into one platform on Web 2 as this is in Web 3. And I think Gary Club and the whole social connector ecosystem is one of the best Web 3 friendly marketing platforms that I've found, and you're able to earn in a whole bunch of different ways. And again, locking up coins is one of them. I know a lot of people that I have so many friends, they don't want to be actively involved in Web 3. They want to just put money in and forget it. And if they could look at it like a business where they could buy the coin, lock up the coin, and analyze the company, basically buy up the coin because they believe in the company, they can lock up the coin and it benefits the company, basically helping their, I'm not going to use the word, it's not an investment, but helping their investment into the company that they've locked up the coin with. And it's helping secure the future of that company, because now if, say, I have a couple thousand or maybe I have a percentage of the entire supply and I lock it up, now nobody could sell it. So right now, what is it? We said 2.5% is locked up right now. So if 2.5% is locked up right now, that means there's only 7.5% out there in the world. It would mean that everybody would have to sell right now at the same time that's left in order to just liquidate 7.5% of the entire ecosystem. And I don't think that's very unlikely to happen. It's just ways for people that are bullish on something, but they're not going to go throw on a PFP. They're not going to go to Twitter or X and be that person that's going to be a keyboard warrior. They're not going to be that person that really cares too much about actually being involved in community, which is completely, you need those people. And this is a way for those people to get involved, for those people to benefit, while other people go and they'll make money off of NFTs. They'll go make money off of liquidity pools. They'll go make money off of social pay and selling things for money. But this is a way that you could just lock it up, get a return. And like I said, my last couple drops were about 1% of my current position. And just so you know, it's equal. So if the more people that actually provide lockup, it's just equally shared depending on. So if you have one and there's 100, you would get 1%. If you have one and there's 1,000, you get what, 0.01%. Yeah, math. It's pretty easy. And then it ends up lowering the entire circulating supply. So if somebody's bullish on a project, they don't have the time to hang out in Discord all day, this is the way to do it. This is a way to actually do it and just sit back and relax. And if you do it for 6 months, there's really nothing that could happen either way. So if there's up or down, don't stress out, because it's just going to, you have 6 months to recover. Like, it's a long-term lockup, if that makes sense. Or you can just do it for a month. You just need to have one Gary in order to lock something up. And then one other benefit that I haven't even mentioned yet, I don't know why, is when you lock it up, one of the perks aside from getting drops is you get voting rights within the DAO in Gary. So what that means is that when somebody has a proposal or something, you get to vote, and based off of how many coins you have locked up, say you have one, you get 1 coin worth of vote. And so if you have 100, you get 100 coin. If you have 1,000, if you have 1,000,000, you get the point. So your vote is heavier depending on how many more you locked up, and you get more drops. So say you want to help guide the direction of the company, like we're using the word company, it's Web3 company. If you want to help guide the direction of it, you say, hey, I want this to happen. Go grab more coin, lock it up. You're going to get benefits by actually getting those drops, and then you can make those votes. Maybe you say that there's some rewards given out in one place and you don't think it's the best place. You can go and vote and remove those rewards and say, hey, we should go put it over here, put it up for vote. And now you have whatever say, depending on how many coins you have, that say that's going to help preserve the company that you are helping build. And if you don't have faith in a company, don't do it. Don't actually jump in that way. But if you believe in the ecosystem, this is a great way to passively do it and actually have a say.
Yeah, I think there's two things there. One I wanted to touch to is not so much in Ethereum, but a big part of even the Solana NFT ecosystem, probably 2-3 years ago, every project, as soon as it dropped, it was like when it was staking, right? Because people wanted to lock up a supply. They wanted to, because in theory, right, like when you lock up the supply, it's less selling pressure, right? Because it's just the way that kind of works. Even dating back to just Solana NFTs themselves, like staking has always been prevalent. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, obviously, and whether you decide to, like maybe even partaking and helping steer the direction of a company might not be in your interest, just having that ability to do so is a nice feature that he added. Say you might not always want to, but there might be something that you are passionate about that makes its way into a vote, for example. And then just to be able to have the ability to go in and at least voice your opinion in a more than just submitting something, right? It adds that a bit of more authenticity to listening to a community than just like a suggestion tab or something like that.
Exactly. There's so many marketing companies that I've used in the past. Like I could use the example of like ClickFunnels would be an example. Good. There's almost like that cultish following of the people that use that software, which is fine. And I get it. But if I wanted something changed in that company, like that marketing company, I would not be able to actually make that change. I'd be able to, like you said, a suggestion box. And maybe they feel like doing it. Maybe they feel like not doing it. Maybe I'm that one obscure marketer that wants to do this thing and they say, no, there's not enough people that are interested in this thing. But what if I was able to get enough funnel coins or whatever and lock them up and be able to say, hey, I want to have this feature in ClickFunnels. That would be a way to do it. But in this case, it's a marketing tool like Gary Club, which with Social Connector, where I'm able to lock up the coin and have a say in the direction of the company and also get the perks of the airdrops. So it's really a good way to have a say in the company if you really believe it. And it's a good way to, hey, I want this tool. I want this feature. I'm not a developer. I'm not this person. Now you're able to have your hand in a company that you're going to be able to guide it in the direction that you want it to develop and progress.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a golfer, and there's a course by me where they literally have it is like a physical box suggestion. It's a wooden box, it's a suggestion box. But because it's a golf course, it's out on a little island you got to clear water to, I think it's like a par 3, and it's over about 50 feet of water. So you got to clear the water. But in the water, there's like this little kind of island, and it's on a post like in there. So obviously there's no way to get to it, but that's like part of the thing. And that's how I've always viewed, like in my experience here in Web3, it's like, all the projects that have like the suggestion tabs and all that kind of stuff. That's how I view that, right? Like, it just gives you a place for people to vent, but nothing actually like comes from it. So when you add like the voting power and where you can actually steer and get stuff done, I think it just is it adds a whole different element to the beast.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I got a hand raised from is it CD Cherry? Hey, do you have a question or do you have a comment on what we were chatting about?
Well, I just wanted to say hello. I don't think I've met you guys before, so I wanted to just say hello and say I'm CD. I'm a photographer and poet in the space and part-time comedian. And I just saw you guys talking up here and I just wanted to say hello.
It's great to have you join the conversation and great to have you up here. Yeah, we're just chatting about the monetization tool that we use and marketing tool that we use in Web3. I don't know if you're in Web3, but if you are an artist and a photographer, it's a great way to monetize your art. So I don't know if you're in that space for monetization on your art. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I am in Web3. I've been here since the beginning. I've seen CG around, so I just know of him. I don't really know him personally, but a lot of my friends, Austin and other photographers I've known in the space, they're always saying good things just about how cool you are and whatnot. I said, oh, maybe I'll meet him one day and see if what they're saying matches up to what who he is. So I'm glad I'm in here. I'm getting to actually talk to you and just know you a little bit more. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to meet you as well. And yeah, I love Austin. But yeah, so I do a lot. This is a little bit different from what I do a lot of the art spaces. So we'll host like artful discussions, which we have various different formats of having artists come and either tell their story or different platforms or things that benefit artists. But one of the things that I also got into in dealing with artists like yourself was so many artists that I've met in this space over the many years I've been here. A lot of them, they are living off of their art sales, which is can be very stressful. And when times are good, it's great. But during some bears, it gets a little tough. And so part of what I was doing in hearing like artists' struggles was, as someone who is more Web3 native, was I wanted to start researching other ways to monetize your account or make money in this space without having to rely on sales, right? Because like I said, it's hard to just constantly have to sell. And so if there's ways that you can, monetize your like either X account or join a group such as like Gary Club and find different ways to monetize what your content or what you might be able to provide, or in this case, your art. I wanted to immerse myself in that so I could then bring that knowledge to our Artful Discussions community or just artists and friends that if I could help a couple people and relieve that pressure of making a sale, I wanted to be able to do that. And then that's how I linked up with Dunk through Gary Club. And, we started hosting some of these spaces with him to talk about different ways. So what we do here is each space, he'll pick a topic and we talk about different ways that you're able to either make money or earn some passive income that are available in Web3 that most people might not be aware of. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that sounds pretty cool. I would also like love if I don't know if I could like sign up to possibly be part of one of your artful discussions. I've seen it like on my timeline, and I was just like, I don't really know him that well to just ask. I would like to like know you a little bit more before I'm on the show, but I would love to be a part of it if you still do those types of spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just followed you and we can connect after this. I don't want to steal too much from Dunk here, so I'll let him get back to what he was going. But I'm glad you came up and said hello, and I'm glad to now be following you back. I apologize that wasn't a lot gets lost on these accounts, but I'll definitely take a look at some of your works. And like I said, we'll chat after this. But thank you for stopping and saying hey.
Thank you for coming. No, you're welcome to always come up and ask these questions. I know that we have a main topic, but hey, we're here so you could access us and chat with us and ask these. But yeah, it would be a great place for you to come and join and actually be able to monetize some of your stuff. It's CG's in there as well, and you could network with us. There's a Discord. You can go to gary.club/Discord to join the Discord for it. If you want to create a Gary Club account, just go to joingaryclub.com and you're going to be able to create an account. It's free, it's easy, and if you want to create a creator coin and monetize that way, it does take a small gas fee, but that's not anything to do with the actual platform charging. It's just a gas fee, which is unavoidable, unfortunately.
I had a question. Do you know anything about like meme coins? I want to possibly make a meme coin. I just don't really know that much about it.
It's not that hard to make a coin. I can go mint any coin and call it a meme coin today, but it's just having the launch and actually having the liquidity and stuff. Like you could look at the stuff that's launched on like Jupe. They've been hit or miss on their execution, but they always have already existing audience. They already have somebody that's already getting pumped about it. But as far as creating a coin, it's not hard. Like you could go and create a coin in 30 seconds right now. It's not hard to create a cryptocurrency, but it's just about actually having the people that are going to be willing to buy it and infuse that meme culture into it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I feel like also if I marketed it the right way,
yeah,
you could get whatever type of audience. It's same with like art or any type of music that you just if you market it and are around the right people, they'll just this is cool. Like I would call it like CD and have it like black and white or who knows like a logo or something on it, and that would be my meme coin.
Just so you know, another thing within the Gary Club ecosystem is it's not a meme coin necessarily, but we have creator coins. And like I have one myself, I call it Dunk, and I have a trading pair with Gary, and it gives me that stability of the entire ecosystem. So yes, if there's a dip in there, Gary Dunk, mine's called Dunk, will dip, but it will go back up. I could always create a trading pair with any other cryptocurrency if I want to, but I currently just have it with Gary because arbitrage, people could rotate it. But you can go and do those things directly in Gary Club. There is a fee and everything because to be involved in that. But another way to do it, if you're looking for something that's a little more a way just to reward your community, another thing in the Gary Club ecosystem, it's not directly, it's actually part of more of the protocol. There's Social Connector, and there is an off-chain rewards program that's still in beta right now, but that might be another option for you. And what that is, you could reward people for it's when it's done. For instance, I'm going to be able to say in these spaces, if you go and fill out this form, I'll give you a reward, or if you go and watch this video, I'll give you a reward. You can reward people for all those different things with that. That might be another way that you could do it in that, but that is a off-chain token, which means that it's not actually tradable or anything like that. It's just people claim it and then they could give it back to you, and you can give them whatever perk you decide.
Still like researching.
Oh yeah,
I'm really just like an artist, but I was like, I feel like I should add myself into this meme coin because I feel like it will be big in the future.
Oh yeah.
So if I make my own meme coin and I just market it the right way, like on TikTok, because I'm growing my TikTok up, I feel like that would be definitely a good way to market it. And I have a lot of friends and family. I feel like they would tell people about, oh, CD she's her art's in like galleries, and if you get like one of her photos, you can get like a meme coin, or I don't know how I would market it, just something like around like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think then honestly, I think Gary Club would be a perfect almost trial to the meme coin, right? Because it's you already would be entering like an ecosystem. So you already think of it like almost like another social platform in a way, to a degree. So you can think of it like Friend Tech. I don't know if you're familiar with Friend Tech or even Stars Arena. Similar to X, right? You would enter as if you were creating a new X account. You'd enter an ecosystem that already has people, that functioning group of people that are looking for other creators, or they're doing something similar to what you would be looking to do. One, not only would you be entering an ecosystem which you could pull from and extract maybe people that might be interested in, for me, for example, like I'm an art collector and I'm in the Gary Clubs. If you come in as an artist, I might buy your creator coins. It's not quite like a meme coin, but it'll also be another avenue for you to build a following. I think the biggest thing is when you go to drop like a coin for yourself, is it's all about like the following count, right? And like Dunk was saying, liquidity, right? You have to have enough people that want to buy it. So if you can hit on your X audience, on your TikTok audience, on the Gary Club or another SocialFi platform audience, it's all about just diversifying yourself out there. So when you go to launch something like this, and also even your art collectors, like you mentioned, like maybe tie it into an art piece or an open edition drop or something. It's just about the more exposure you have of yourself to these different ecosystems that already exist and something that kind of is thriving like Gary Club, I think it'll just help you in the long run. One, and not to mention the people that are there, like Dunk or Donald or some of the giraffes down in the audience, a lot of these people have either already done something similar to what you want to do or know how to do it. And you can connect with them to make sure everything runs smoothly and just lean on the community as a good resource too. So it's a really nice kind of like win.
I feel like also I don't really know how to draw and stuff, so I probably would get like an artist to create my meme coin and or someone that's more into tech to like put it together, and it would be like a collaboration type of project. Because yes, it would have like my name and my logo on it, but also like I had help creating it, so whatever I made off of it, I would also give whoever helped me like percentage as well, because I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. So. But thank you really for everything you guys said. It was very informal, like a lot of information, and I learned a lot so far. And definitely when I'm creating it and when I have it all together, I'll definitely showcase it and show you guys what I created when it's done.
Awesome. We'd love to see it. And again, I think it's a great place. Based off of what you were saying, I agree with CG. It's a place where you could possibly even find the artists that you want in that ecosystem. If you're doing something more techie, there's programmers in there. There's somebody that's AI artists, there's people that are traditional artists, there's people
And
that
this
are
is called Gary Club.
Yeah, you can go to there's a Discord at gary.club/Discord, and you can go join the Discord there. And if you want to create an actual Gary Club account, which is its own website and platform, and you can just go to joingaryclub.com, and that will you can create an account. If you want to create a creator coin, which is like for instance, CG, he has a creator coin, and if you have it, you get into his Telegram group, and he's always doing like white lists and stuff in there for people that support him on there. And then if people buy that coin, you get a percentage. And if people sell your creator coin, you get a percentage on the way out too. So it's another monetization method. That was the thing I was saying. Yeah.
I never really heard of it. Like Gary Club, I've only heard of Gary V. Like that's all.
Yeah, different Gary.
Yeah, different Gary. But I also like, just for ease too, I actually pinned a thread that I had posted a while ago down in the chat bubble, but I'm pretty sure I even have a Gary Club link in my link tree if you're just looking for ease of finding it. But there is like a thread that I think it's 6 pieces that kind of walks you through just the account setup, and it should have a link to it there as well. And it's pretty easy to get in and get started, but then you can explore the ecosystem like Dunk was saying. But yeah, it's a good group of people, that's for sure.
I'm definitely gonna look into it, and then also look into this Gary Club thing. Kind of sounds pretty cool. It's like a cult, but not a cult.
Every good marketing company is a cult. We were actually talking about that right when you came in. I was bringing up ClickFunnels as an example. All those people, they bleed ClickFunnels, and you can't tell them that anything else is a better option, even if there is a better option out there. And that's the way that good marketing actually works. Disney is the example. I actually live pretty close to Disneyland, and I can't tell you how many Disney annual pass members are in that cult. I'm like, it's a thing. It's culture. Like, it's not a bad thing to be in basically a business cult, if you think about it. Okay, I'm rambling.
I feel very seen.
What are the first 4 letters of culture?
Any marketing company is doing it. If they're doing it right, they are, like you said, culture. They're forming culture. Logic is not as strong as culture, in my opinion, the way that I've seen it. Logic, actually, people go, oh, that doesn't make sense. If they have strong culture, people will be there. And that's one thing I could say about Gary Club is it has strong culture. I've actually been there. I'm one of the original people that were in there before it was even really, I think it had just a month old when I found it. And that was in like 2021. So it's actually something that's been being built for a long time. And the reason why it was attractive to me wasn't because I'm a video creator. I come from the film industry. And when I found it, I found a community of entrepreneurs that were building in Web3. And I'm like, I need to know how to actually build a business in Web3, because I would look at things, oh, man, I don't know how to create a payment page. That was figured out in the community. We needed it, so it was developed. I don't know how to charge in this. I don't know how, I need something to deliver a product when I sell in crypto. Oh, it's provided in the community. So I found a community of entrepreneurs that were building a business in Web3 versus a bunch of people that were starting projects. And if you were around in 2021, you know as well as me, that most of those projects, they don't exist anymore because they were projects. Gary Club is not a Web3 project. It is a Web3 business, and so is Social Connector. Those two parts that's the protocol that's behind it. They are a Web3 business, and that's why I bring up like what we're talking about today with everything with the like locking up coins for benefits. You're going to be able to vote in that Web3 business. You're going to get voting rights in your Web3 business, and then because you locked it up as a reward, again, it's not dividends, but it's basically like you're getting dividends. You get drops based off of how much you're actually supporting the lockup. So you have faith in this Web3 business, and you are going to lock up your coins because you have faith in that Web3 business, and then you're able to take those coins and or your lockup and get benefits of actual dividends that you could go lock up more and have higher voting rights. You can go sell them for liquidity. You can go spend them. You can go flip them into another coin in the ecosystem. There's a whole bunch of other creator coins. They could be meme coins if you wanted them to be, but they're creator coins. Like I have Dunk. We have like different ones, like Fuzzy has a Fuzzy, and there's Gino with Drive. There's Dr. Power with Dr. Power, and each one has its own utility and use case, but they're all within that ecosystem. So again, that's when I see that, I see a business. I don't see something that's just going to just oh man, it didn't work today, I'm just going to move on. But there's benefits in for locking up your coin, and then hey, you may miss a pump, but if you believe in a business, if you ever met somebody that's a day trader with stocks, they don't have an emotional attachment to the company that they are trading. They're just trying to get liquidity out of the company. That's their whole goal. And if your goal is to do that, go day trade. I honestly, I would tell you that Gary is probably not the right coin to day trade. You're probably not going to get as much as you can get out of other coins if you're doing that. But if you want to actually support it as a business, actually support it as something you believe in, and actually get benefits back that you could do whatever you want with, then this is the method that I would use. But if you are a day trader, go for it. But I'm not giving any advice, but if I was day trading a cryptocurrency, I probably wouldn't pick Gary just because the trading volume's not exactly what I would pick. But if you're looking at me right now and saying, hey, I don't understand anything that you're talking about, then maybe you don't need to worry about day trading. Maybe actually just locking up a coin and being able to get the benefits is the right path for you.
So you said a lot, and my ADHD brain got a lot of it, but some of it just went in one ear out the other. But I did a lot of what you said, and I also heard that you're in the film industry. So do you do like movies, or you're like behind the scenes and you're just like
I'm behind the scenes.
I'll let Dunk answer that, but I will say, talking on the ADHD brain too, he also makes tremendous YouTube shorts and videos and just like video content as literally even for signing up for Gary Club, but just on so much more. So if you're anything like me and like a visual learner, he also puts out awesome resources in that regard too that might be more helpful.
Like I was visualized a lot of what he said, and I was just like, I can't really see it.
I'm like you. I have the ultimate ADHD mind. I don't know if you could tell by the way I'm talking, but I like to make videos the way that I would like to learn. And I don't like fluff. I don't like people just like sitting there going, hey, so you got to do this, or hey, let me figure this out. Hold on, I don't. And if something is boring to me when I'm recording it or when I'm watching it, I cut. Because if it's boring to me, it's gonna be boring to somebody else. And if I watch it and there's something that I don't understand, or there's a hole, my mind won't let me continue until I've made it super clear to myself. So it will be super clear to you. So if you want those really clear videos and step by step, here's how to do it with no fluff, I don't like the fluff, then go to that channel and check out those videos. And it has a lot of Gary Club videos.
I always have clients that are looking for videographers, so I'm glad the past couple of days I've just been meeting a lot of videographers and photographers. So if I ever have a client that needs a videographer, I'll definitely say go to Dunk. He has you. Do you just do YouTube, or do you do film, like movies?
I'm a freelancer.
If you're ever doing a Marvel movie or something like that, please let me know. I want to be in one.
Yeah, it's mostly television that I work on, but yeah, definitely. If I get on the Marvel movie, I'll let you know. But like I said, the Gary Club is a great place for you to network and figure out these things. And I would go to joingaryclub.com and also go to the Discord. It would be my next step for you or anybody else that just wants to learn about how to start monetizing and create that. And like you're talking about creating your own content, you could utilize that as a way to gamify it. Like I was talking about how I was making those forms with the rewards program. All those things are available within it. So if you're looking at ways for people to engage with you on TikTok, you could use Social Connector in the rewards program, things like that.
So I don't know. I guess it's just like me. I don't really like Discord. I just hate the sound that goes off every so often. So I just turn it off or delete it every now and then a few days later, I'll download it back because I'm like, oh, I need to connect with certain people and just talk and network. So back in 2020, I was in about 100 Discord chats. So every morning, just like 100 Discord chats were just talking every single second, and I was just like, it was just too much. I was overstimulated. So now I just only join like the ones I really want to be a part of, and they're good communities, and just around like those terms.
Yeah, I totally get it. I turned off all the sounds on Discord, but if it's the right place for you to come hang out, then we'd love to have you over there. And if not, I would say just still go and create a Gary Club account at joingaryclub.com because it actually has its own feed and everything, and you could actually gate feeds and things like charge people to see your posts and things like that, all in Gary. Another use case for Gary as well. If that's something that you'd want to do, showcase your art. You also, I don't know if this is, I don't want to go too deep into the rabbit hole, but this is what we went over last time, our last X Space. You could either listen to the X Space on here, or I also re-uploaded it onto YouTube. But we were talking about social pay, and that is a way that you can create payment forms and also create mint pages. So if I wanted to create a NFT or a digital collectible, like you're a photographer or artist, you could go take that mint page, go create it, and then people could mint it directly on that platform. And then you could take it and put it on, sell it on whatever secondary market. But it's a really cool way for you to create white lists or to actually just charge. You could even charge in USD if you really wanted to. You can create a mint page, that like a payment page that you charge people in USD, create a segment and let them mint for free if you wanted to charge in dollars. So there's so many different ways to monetize, especially for artists like yourself. I would say go and at least create an account on the website.
You're very much selling the Gary Club, so now I just have to automatically just go in there. But I'm definitely going to check it out.
I'd say this, we're about to wrap up because we usually try to keep these to an hour, but what I would tell you is that if you were trying to get your art on Solana, Gary Club is probably your best, easiest bet, because what I just told you, you could create either mint pages, people could mint in Solana or Gary. So you can go and create a mint page in Sol, or you could do it in Gary if you like, and people could just mint them directly on the platform. There's a payment page. You could and one thing about it being behind account, which is the joingaryclub.com account wall, it means that there's not going to be anybody that's going to be able to gamify it. There's not going to be bots that are going to be able to do it. Unless every bot goes and creates and verifies their email and everything like that, it's not going to work. So if you are going into Solana, I think that you clicked on the right space in order to go and figure that out and create those pages, because it's super easy on Gary Club. It's somebody that knows nothing about Web3 could do it. Again, CG, did you have anything that you wanted to say before we wrap up?
No, I think this is just another good one. I want to thank CD for coming up and saying hello. It was very nice meeting you. I'm glad you discovered us, because I think like what Dunk is doing here, I mentioned earlier, but I really believe there's so many avenues for ways to make money in this space. And so many people are focused on either, and not wrongfully, but either having to sell or chasing that 10 to 100x on a PFP flip. But there's so much more to that in this space. And it might not be like as sexy as that like 100x, but if you're in it for the longevity, like I've been here, like I said, since 2012, sorry, a little out of breath, NFT since 2017, like over the years, like I'm okay with that passive income or those little 3 and 4 or 5 X's, because over time it's been more beneficial than chasing every new meta and especially if a meta comes that's not your particular strong suit. Like I don't do meme coins that much anymore. So when meme coins came, I'm not actively playing. Like my liquidity, I staked it or I locked it up for this kind of cycle because I'm not as actively trading right now. It allows you, if you have these different revenue streams, it allows you to survive a meta that maybe you don't want to partake in as it comes. So I just think that particularly for artists like yourself too, I think it's just great that you found us, and hopefully Gary Club and Dunk and all that we're doing will be able to help you out.
No, I wanted to say it was nice meeting the both of you. I think it was like a divine meeting. I don't get a lot of those lately, but it was great just talking to you and getting to know you and just like making my already big ADHD brain even bigger because it has so much information now. And I hope I'll get to see you both again and go into one of your artful discussion spaces.
And yeah, of course, thank you for coming up and adding to the conversation. That's what this is all about. If you want to jump into my Discord, you can go to dunkmedia.club. And then one other way, if you want to go down that flow of onboarding of how to join everything that I'm talking about, and you're like, hey, I don't know where to start with everything with Gary Club, I would go to one of my it's an email opt-in. It's going to take you through a sequence of different things that are going to help you basically monetize and grow in Gary Club. And you can go to earndunk.com. It's going to be something that I'm going to be utilizing for my Dunk Rewards, which is a rewards program that is going part of Social Connector, which is coming out very shortly. It's moving it off chain just so it doesn't have to deal with all the blockchain issues right now, and then it's going to be back on chain once things get a little bit figured out with all the slowdowns in Solana. But if you wanted to go grab that, I have a whole sequence on onboarding different ways than Gary Club and getting you started, as well as a whole bunch of videos on the YouTube channels. CG, did you have anything else you wanted to say at wrap up, or are you good?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I think it was another fun one. I'm loving these, and it's nice. It was nice meeting new people, seeing some new faces in here, and then looking forward again. Your editing is awesome, so I always like watching the YouTube ones as the visual guy. I know it's just the visual of the audio content, but the YouTube channel is great, so I always love seeing it pop up on there as well, and watching those. Yeah, no, that was it. I think it was a really good one.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We will see you either in Discord or on Gary Club or on X, same place, next week. I'll see you then. Bye.